The world is divided over the Israel-Hamas conflict. On October 21, a peace summit took place in Cairo, Egypt to discuss ways to de-escalate the conflict between the Hamas movement and Israel, as well as prevent the risk of the conflict spreading throughout the region. Area. Unlike expectations, the conference ended without issuing a joint statement. On the contrary, it revealed more clearly the division between participating countries, with Arab countries on one side and Arab countries on the other. Western countries, according to Reuters. The peace summit in Cairo was convened at the initiative of Egypt, in the context of the Israel-Hamas war continuing to escalate. As the only country besides Israel that has a border with the Gaza Strip, Egypt has a special role as a mediator in conflicts between Hamas and Israel, and also helps restrain the Palestinian armed group in times of conflict. Last year by strictly controlling goods passing through the Rafah border gate. In the current war context, this border gate is the only place that can bring international aid to the people of Gaza, and is also the only hope for civilians who want to leave the blockaded Gaza. That is why world public opinion has high hopes for this summit, especially when it has the participation of 30 leaders from Arab, Western, African countries and many other countries, including the King of Jordan, the King of Qatar, the President of Palestine, the President of the United Arab Emirates, and the Prime Ministers of Italy, Canada, Spain, and Greece, United Nations, UN. Secretary-General Antonio Guterres, President of the European Council Charles Michel, and foreign ministers of some other countries. Israel did not send a representative to attend, while Washington sent charge d'affaires of the U.S. Embassy in Egypt. By convening this conference, Egypt hopes to persuade participating countries to call for a ceasefire as well as peaceful solutions to the conflict. In its difficult position, Egypt cannot easily accept the influx of people from Gaza, because it could lead to a refugee crisis and become a security threat to Cairo. In his opening remarks, President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi emphasized that Egypt condemns terrorist acts targeting civilians, and announced that the conference would focus on discussing a roadmap to end the nuclear disaster. Leadership as well as restoring peace in the Gaza Strip, including distributing relief goods to the people of Gaza, reaching a ceasefire agreement and continuing negotiations towards a two-state solution. Meanwhile, Jordan's King Abdullah II condemned the global silence in the face of Israeli attacks that left thousands of civilians in Gaza dead and more than 1 million homeless, and called for a new approach. Equitable approach to conflict. Palestinian representative, President Mahmoud Abbas affirmed that Palestinians will not leave their land. While Arab and Muslim countries call for an immediate end to Israel's military campaigns in the Gaza Strip, Western countries seem to be interested in a more modest goal. France's representative proposed establishing a humanitarian corridor into Gaza. Britain and Germany called on the Israel Defense Forces to exercise restraint, while Italy said it was important now to avoid escalation of tensions. The U.S. representative did not speak, and European Council President Charles Michel said that the main goal of this summit is to listen to each other and avoid the escalation of conflicts. At the end of the conference, Western leaders did not agree to sign the draft joint statement drafted by Egypt, on the grounds that it did not mention Israel's right to self-defense against Hamas. The failure of the Cairo Peace Summit destroyed hopes of easing war tensions in Gaza. On the same day, Israel announced plans to increase airstrikes on Gaza to prepare for the next phase of the war. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin also announced the deployment of the Terminal High Altitude Area Defense (THAAD) system and additional Patriot air defense missile battalions to the Middle East in response to recent attacks targeting U.S. troops in this area. The situation became even hotter when the representative of the Hezbollah force in Lebanon declared that he was ready to go to war if Israel deployed large-scale military operations against Hamas. The risk of Israel-Hamas hostilities spreading to the Middle East region, sadly, no longer seems far away.